Greetings, my name is Brandon Bishop, and this is the Automathography of Brandon Bishop. My title for it is The Unfinished Story, and we're going to be discussing about myself, courses taken, some favorite courses, hardest courses, and my future plans. So, about myself, I go by Bishop because it's easier to remember. I was born in Raleigh, North Carolina, but raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina for about 16 years. I grew up with a love for mathematics at the age of 9. I had a 4th grade teacher who made us write multiplication out like 10 times, and we had to turn it in the next day. So it became muscle memory, and as weird as it may sound, it was hard, but I grew a love for it. At the age of 17, I joined the United States Army, straight out of high school, Army National Guard. And so I took about 2 semesters off from school and enrolled in school in 2016, the fall semester. My original major was psychology, but the funny part about that was my sergeant and I discussed about what job has a higher employment rate, and he said he wanted me to choose something STEM focused. So I chose mathematics because that's my second love and my second passion. And my major is pure mathematics, and this picture, this handsome guy is me. So here I have my meme that math is mental abuse to humans. Even though math you have to have a passion for it to actually love it. I love it, but it takes a toll on my health sometimes. And these are the courses I've taken thus far. The first course that's listed, Math 101 Fundamental of Algebra and Trig, is the reason I really decided to switch my major. I had Dr. Zimmerman, and she really challenged me, but as well as I did in that class, I was having fun, and I finished with an A. I was like, I think I might want to switch up to math. Some of the courses talk about Math 102. I had Professor Hunter, a real good professor, and it was about quadratic functions. And Math 110, the math classes I'm not discussing, I'm gonna talk about later. But Math 110 is more about trig functions. Math 106 was reasoning and problems. Cal 1 was limits, derivatives, integration. Math 215 is annotating bibliography using LaTeX. Math 240 was computer, of course, using MATLAB. I didn't really like that course because of my instructor. Stats 328. I know it's not really a math class, but it really is because it's still numbers. I enjoyed it. It's just my instructor. It was kind of hard to understand, but I enjoyed the class. That discussed. We use Art Studio in there. Cal 3 discusses vectors and partial differentiation. Math 351 goes over matrix theory, determinants, and systems of linear equations. Next slide. So, my favorite courses. I chose this meme right here because it was a moment where the character Adam Sandler played, finally got the equation right, and he was like, I'm the smartest man alive. And so I know everybody had a time when they've been on a problem for about 15 to 20 minutes and you finally understand the material and get it right. So also this intro is an intro for a song that I listen to before every test. Kid Cudi's called Immortal. And so it just get me focused in right before the test. But the favorite courses I've taken here is Math 101, which I discussed. I had Dr. Zimmerman. Math 123 is discrete mathematics, which is about I think it's really the intro to proofs, but it's like a lot of logical and reasoning. And Calculus 2, a lot of people don't like Calculus 2. I'm weird. They tend to like the other calculus. But Calculus 2, I had Dr. O'Regan, and she did such a wonderful job teaching that class. I only had to go to her office one time, and because I just asked a ton of questions, and so I felt like I was the only person asking questions in that class. That's why I just enjoyed it. And next slide. And the hardest courses, I chose this one because I feel like everybody struggles with math, even more than what you think. But it says 4 out of 3. That's the funny part. But everybody struggles with math. It's just about repetition. And so the hardest courses I've taken is Math 341, which is differential equations. It discusses integrating high order linear differential equations, Laplace transformation and Laplace inverse transformation, homogeneous equations and non-homogeneous equations. That course, I feel like it's so much material to put in one semester. It's so much material. And the reason why I felt like it was so hard, because my professor at the time, he didn't quite want to answer the questions while he was teaching. So if I had a question in class, he would literally say, quick. And he would say, quick. You ask your question, and you don't get the answer that you're looking for because you just want to move on with the lesson plan. And there's so much material that I had to study with some students and then try to do my own studying. And he had extra credit packets that was 25 pages and 16 pages and right before finals. So imagine doing a 25-page packet and a 16-page packet, then another 10-page packet for extra credit. Then you got to study for the final. It was a lot. But I passed. And Math 211 is mathematical logic proof. That's when you're getting introduced to developing proof and logical arguments. I have a love-hate relationship with that class, but I feel like it was one of the hardest courses as well because it's the definitions. You have to learn a lot of definitions, and then some of the definitions may be about a paragraph long, and then you have to learn to apply that proof or the theory to a whole nother proof. So it's a lot to learn, and another course that was really challenging because I asked a ton of questions. I chose this meme because we're about to talk about my future, my plans for the future. So, as you can see, Squidward is freaking out about the future, and sometimes I tend to freak out about my plans for the future because of college. But there's 2 career options I want to pursue. One is a loan officer. I really want to work in a bank, either a loan officer or a branch manager. But after I'm done with that, the real money is the actual actuary, which, yeah. So I'm gonna discuss the loan officer. Loan officer, they generally specialize in marketing loan products to obtain a loan. So they're gonna examine your credit history for an individual or business and try to help you find a plan to qualify for a loan. And you usually need a bachelor's degree, and they have training, on-job training. And also, my cousin is a loan officer, so she's doing pretty good in that field because she has 2 Dodge Chargers. And, and the actuary, I'm gonna discuss that. So, the actuary, they try to predict the future with studying past statistics, and they use statistics to measure risk. And so an example of that is an insurance company actuary. They try to study the past statistics and data to plan how much to set aside for policyholders. And next one. Any questions?
What's latex?
Latex is it's like a bibliography class that you use in a system to learn how to write out books or papers.
Your references.
And references.